Okay, let me quickly update the share this here. I started just a few seconds ago and then actually realized that the microphone wasn't working, so let me restart this. Okay, so I just walked through a few changes back here. Last week I was working on the pagination of the issue list user story here. I can quickly show you what that is. So we basically have a list of pages here. Show you on the bigger screen. And as you can see, we have a list of issues. This is loaded here. And then when we click the next button, it will paginate through this list. So here it fetches the next page, so page 2 here, and also the third page. This is something that I did last week. So let me quickly check here. I already merged the pull request here, but yeah, so these were changes that I did off screen. So we have the use query here. This is from React query. And I just added this keep previous data option. This allows the list to like not completely disappear. If we don't have this, the list, the table completely disappears, and then there's a loading state. But like this, it's a bit nicer for the user, so the data is actually there. And in a second commit, I added this kind of prefetch mechanism. So this is all taken from the pagination example here on React query. And yeah, it's not the ideal prefetch mechanism, but because as you can see, like we are here on page 4, and now we fetch page 5 and page 6. This is the use effect. So this part here kicks in. And so this is all fine actually, but when I click on previous, now we're on page 5, so previous will load the data for page 5 again. So this is not ideal, but actually it helps still a lot for the user, because when we refresh, the next page is actually there already, so it's pretty quick to re-render. Yeah, those were some minor changes that I did last week. And today I want to continue with this last task, refactor folder structure. So this will actually be for now the last live stream. But yeah, so let me quickly show you what we have here. So this is something that you will find pretty often in React applications. So we have like global folders that separate the files by type. So we have something, an API, then components, then context, and maybe here pages, because this is an next application. Yeah, and this of course works fine. The application here is still quite small, as you can see, not a lot of components. But you may know Screaming Architecture. I guess it's a book by Bob Martin. Let me. So yeah, so by Uncle Bob, and there's also a book, I guess. So this is a very interesting read, I would say. So Screaming Architecture just means that, or part of it is the organization of your code. And it just means that when you look at the application, you should understand what it's doing. And more often than not, we actually understand what kind of framework we have. So here it's pretty clear, or kind of clear, that we have, like, this is very typical for a React application. And with a pages folder, we know that this might be next. Also here, the next config.js. So this tells us, hey, this is a Next.js application, but we have no idea what this actually does. So we can read here prolog app. Doesn't mean anything to you probably. Yeah. So the feature-based approach, on the other hand, there it's pretty clear. You have a features folder, and inside this features folder, you have the code separated. And very good example of this is Bulletproof React. So the upper level still looks pretty verbose, and here actually you have the features folder. So when you click on this, it becomes more clear. At least we have something like auth. Okay, so we have authentication, then comments, discussions, teams, and users. So there's something. This is probably something like a Slack or something like this, discussions application. And yeah, this is a really good example of a scalable architecture, and comes much closer to the streaming architecture. And this is also something that I would like to try now, to refactor my my application into something like this. So let's quickly check what we have here. The API is actually quite close to feature driven, because we have here the issues and the project. So these are two features in the end. And these also represent the two pages that we currently have, projects and issues. The components, you can already see, like, these are UI components. This is like also UI or layout component. And then this as well. And then we have like project, and then we have also issue. The issue list again contains another component here. So you can imagine when we have a lot more components that this will become really cluttered, and it will also be hard to understand what belongs to which feature. And then context, yeah, this belongs actually to this one, to the sidebar navigation. So yeah, I think feature-driven approach here might make already sense. So let's create a features folder, and then I would create a project and issue. Not sure, let's see. So here they have the naming convention to use plurals. I think this is fine. Let's also do the same projects. And now we can actually move some of the stuff there. So let's check how they did it with the comments here. So inside the feature itself, we actually have a separation by types in this case. Yeah, I think this makes, of course, the folder structure a bit like deeper, not so flat, but since we have this API and also like components types, this is something that we also have. It might actually make sense to nest the folders further. So let's create API here. And so this is API. And then move this here. For now, I don't want to update. I'll break it on purpose and see later what happens. So we have the API, then let's create a components folder. And I only have the issue list here. So let's also move this. And then it's fine. And that's actually already it. We also have the types, so let's move this here. Okay. So here we actually have a types and then index.ts. So I don't really think it makes a big difference, but let's follow this approach. And rename this to I'm not sure. And now one thing that they do here in Bulletproof React is to have a public API in the index.ts file. So this just means that we can directly import everything from the comments folder and don't have to import from comments/components or something like this. When you check the documentation here, project structure, this is also, they have pretty detailed explanation here. So it's actually not mentioned here. I'm not sure. How is it? Yeah, entry point for the feature. It should serve as the public API. Yeah, so let's create something like that as well. Index.ts. And now let's see, like here in this issue list, I already have the such a public API. This just tells me that the issue row isn't to be used outside of this issue list component. So I will keep that for now. And the so API and use issues. We can actually also export everything, I guess. Find them from components, issue list. And then I would also like to types, issue types. Okay, so we have the public API now. And now we can check where we actually use this. So this file, of course, it doesn't exist anymore. So let's delete this. Our TypeScript will also tell us where we actually import this, but it's also easy enough now. As you can see, I use TypeScript path aliases here. I define them here. I will create another one called features. And this will be features folder. And file closed again. So here, features and issues, it's called now. So this is something. So this didn't pick up yet. Let me quickly restart. this solved the issue. Yeah, looks fine now. Okay, then we have issue list. It should be issue list. So features issue list. Okay. Issues. Yeah, so I have to get used to this as well. So I hope that this now works already. Actually, I forgot again to check out the main branch and stuff. So let's git stash all the changes. Git stash pop because we have a lot of untracked changes yet. Git stash include untracked. So now all the changes are gone for now. Git checkout main. And now we pull the changes from, because we merged the pull request, and now I want to check out a new branch, and this is refactor feature-based folder structure. And now we can unstash changes. And there they are. Okay, so let's run this and hope that this works already. Then we can create the first commit. So there obviously is another issue. So issue row, let's see. API issue. So I'm not sure if we should import from the feature like this, or from types directly. So this should be a type, I guess. And this as well. So this would work, I guess. Let's refresh. So level colors. That's actually I think this should work. Let's quickly check here. I'd be interested how if they also fetch or use the use relative imports within the feature. Yeah, so this is what they do here. Yeah, that makes sense. Comments. Let's do the same. So here API. So this is so issue types.ts types. should actually work, but okay. So probably there was a typo. Okay, great. So this seems to work. Pagination works as well. I'm still not super sure about this. But yeah, in the end, this, yeah. Let's keep it like this for now. The alternative would be to have add features. This would limit, of course, our imports, because we would import from the public API here. So everything, only the things that are exported from the public API could be imported within our feature. But yeah, so let's keep it like this for now. And this is still a bit inconsistent since we have the index.ts here. We have a public API within the components issue list folder, but we don't have it here and here. Yeah. I will anyways keep it like this for now. And add this feature. So then let's continue with the next one. Features issue. We have features projects. This will also get an API folder. We have it here. So this is basically only this one file. And then we have components folder and types. So project types goes into types, and we can remove this one here. And then finally we have the, I guess, two components actually here, two component folders, and this goes to components. And then let's add the index TS file and API use projects. So for the moment, we only need to expose the project list. And then we also have the types and types. Okay. And then let's check here. So projects is used here. And let's import this relatively, and this also. This is where API project index, this doesn't exist anymore. Let's check. Issue row, okay. Set feature, so this is issue row, this is a different feature, and so we would use absolute import here. So we decouple the issues feature and the projects feature, basically. And then we also have this here, so features projects, okay. Okay, so this page seems to work fine. And here we still have a problem. Issue list, okay. So you can see this is already, like, for such a small application, gets annoying already. So it's a good idea to do this early on. Okay, and one thing that I forgot, I guess, run Storybook. We should also run all the other things that we have here, and I'm going to run Cypress. So we have Storybook and Cypress here. So we can see that something's wrong still. Let's check the stories that we have. Actually, we don't have many stories. Ah, okay. I forgot to set up the path alias here. Features. Okay. So now I think this should work, hopefully. And let's check Cypress at the same time and run all of those specs. Okay, so seems to work fine. Storybook, and here's Cypress running. We'll amend this one because the previous commit also contained a bit of setup, so let's add this to the previous commit, and now as project feature. So everything seems to work fine. Let's create the next commit. Now let's check what we still have here in the components folder. We basically have two simple UI components. You can see them here. It's actually only the badge. We don't have a story for the button yet, but this is also a simple UI component. And then we have two like bit more complex components. Like one is the sidebar navigation. This is kind of a layout. So we could leave them in the global components folder. This is basically what bulletproof React does. You can see they have a lot of like, global folders still. Components, for example, creates like elements, and then they have this UI elements here, and then a separate like, form layout. This is basically what our page container does. But another thing that we actually could do is to create a feature for this, and we can call it UI. Then at least move the badge and button. Components here. Okay. And I'm not sure if we should move the page container. These should also be UI. I will move them for now here to the UI feature, and we can get rid of the components. Now I guess these are features / UI. But we forgot to export the index.ts, then export and sidebar navigation. Okay, and here you can see that each component, because usually component folders contain more files, I will keep the public API index files here, and those decide what is actually exported to the public. And now let's see. So these seems to be fine. We still have a few problems here, I guess. Components. Okay, so here we can already see. So features. And the issue row also use the badge. Okay. Features / UI. So now we moved all of these here. And we have a problem with the story, I guess. Sidebar navigation. Storybook still complains. Components button. Okay. And then Okay, so seem to work fine again. And then we also have the contexts here. So we have the navigation context actually. And let's check this out. So for now, I guess we can move that here. This to the navigation provider, okay. So Storybook still failing. Okay, features UI. Let's see if we have something else here. Features. Okay, so this seems to work fine. Now let's check also the Cypress tests again. So we don't need this one anymore. Okay, then UI feature. And then let's see, still have the styles. I guess this can stay in such a global folder. And we still have a config. This I guess also okay. Routes. So maybe. So let's check bulletproof React. They actually, I guess, have some routes defined here, but those are a bit different. Let's see. So these are actually the pages, I guess. And since they use React Router, they can also use nested pages. I think like keeping this config file is fine for now. The only thing that I would like to get rid of now is the page types, and I guess it makes more sense to have a global types folder. move, okay, and then maybe move this one as well. So here we have let's change the config here again. So we also have types. We don't need these three anymore. So let's get rid of them. Here we have types. One's actually there's probably a better way of reloading TypeScript, but so we can also get rid of this and then so this doesn't seem to be accepted at the moment. I'm not sure why, but let's see what's the problem. So I don't have a type checker installed currently, so I can run the build command. Okay, so this is still complaining. Add types. So it seems that this is it's probably reserved or something. Let's quickly check if somebody else had the same problem. Alias. Probably that's a bit too generic. Naming. So we have this global types folder and let's see. So here this as well. So here the path aliases, it's actually not like I have done it with like defining each folder separately, but just pointing to the source folder. Yeah, not sure how to change that. Currently, this is a smart way to do. Yeah, I think I might do this later on and either change the name here or yeah, find another place for this global page types. This is actually just a simple type for the pagination here. So this is why it's used here. Use issues. Yeah, so we have a page of issues basically. Yeah, doesn't make much sense to do that yet now on screen, I guess. So let me do that off screen. But let's quickly recap this one here. Okay, I can remove this. So from my perspective, this is a nice folder structure actually, because we have now, imagine you are looking for to fix a bug, and you're looking for some component or some place here in the issue table, for example. Now it's pretty simple. You have two entry points to the application from the code here. So the first one is pages, and you can see directly like here's the issues page. So I can go here, and now I can just navigate down the tree. And the other entry point, if you don't really know what page, for example, here on the home page, let's say, this might not be immediately clear where to look here, so we can still check out here the projects. So it's easier to navigate from my perspective. And as well, once you look at the features folder and the pages folder, you actually can already see that this is something to do with issues and projects. And I guess the more features we have here, it might become more clear that yeah, what kind of project this is actually. Still, like issues and projects is a bit verbose to be honest. This could be an issue tracker or like a task management tool maybe. Issues is also used in GitHub, for example, as a name. But yeah, it at least kind of points you in the direction. So yeah, I will stop here for now. This will, as I said, this will be the last live stream. Kind of finish this application to a point where we have like not a super large code base, obviously, but like at least some components and some structure here. And the goal was to create an application that developers who are new in the industry can actually continue developing. And as you can see here, is already like a relatively long list of tasks. Yeah, this will be part of the React Job Simulator that I'm currently developing. So if you're interested, get on the waitlist, and you can continue building this. Maybe in the future I will decide to add a few more features, maybe, or actually build some of the tasks here my own and share them on another live stream. But yeah, for now, for the meantime, this is it, I guess. So thanks for watching, and